and she shades this Victoria's Secret angel, but she doesn't state the name in her book, but everyone knows who it is. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reviewing Emily Ratajkowski's book, My Body. So she released this book back in November 2021, and I have finally taken the time to read it, and let's just say I have a couple opinionated thoughts about it. As you guys may know, Emily Ratajkowski is a famous supermodel who has walked the Victoria's Secret fashion show, been on numerous Vogue covers, and probably has been in every famous fashion magazine ever. As someone who is in the modeling industry, I feel like this book gives a really good insight of what is actually going on in there and what you expect from going into this world. My overall opinion of this book is that I really loved some parts and what she had to say, but I also really hated some of the things that she talked about in her book. For example, on her Instagram, she is really well known for being all about women empowerment and feminism. But in her book, I feel like she likes to point out women for certain actions that I'm going to talk about a little bit later and shame them for it. And I'm not about that. I don't think she intentionally tries to do this on purpose, but it definitely comes across that way. And I feel like it's a result from her upbringing. In the beginning of the book, she talks about how her mother gave her this idea of beauty, and that her beauty is what separated her from everyone else and made her special. As she got older, I feel like she started to have this negative connection between self-worth and her beauty. And throughout the book, you see how it affects her because she starts to have this victim mentality. Throughout the book, you can see that she adopts this victim mentality. Emily victimizes herself for her beauty, yet she's making a ton of money from it. And she reinforces this idea by constantly telling herself that she hates herself. Like she pointed out, she got paid $25,000 to hang out with billionaire J. Lou at the Super Bowl. She pointed out that people spend years, their whole life, saving up for events like this, and she got paid to do this because of her beauty. In return for receiving $25,000, she just had to show up, look hot, enjoy her time, and billionaire J. Lou just apparently gets something out of it. That's his value. He likes to have famous people around him. Emily seems to be very uncomfortable with the way that she makes money, and I don't really understand why. She is a model and she is compensated for her beauty. Yes, it's a little unheard of to be getting paid $25,000 to go to the Super Bowl, but this is kind of what she signed up for. She complains where she acts like she doesn't have a choice. She could have easily stayed in UCLA where she was going, finished her degree, and get a teacher's salary or do XYZ, but she didn't. She chose to stick with modeling. For $25,000, that's about a 6-month salary for the normal person. She got that in 1 day's worth of work. She chose to stick with modeling because, let's face it, she was making a ton of money. She could have made a conscious choice, finished her degree, and get a shitty $50,000 salary if she wanted to, but she chose the money, and she acts like a victim in all of this. Another incident where you see this victim mentality in Emily is when her and her husband S are at a work party, and he sees Miley Cyrus across the room and he starts booking it towards her. Emily's trying to follow him, but because it's a crowded room, she kind of gets pulled aside by a random guy. The random guy asks a picture with her and she obliges and says yes. He puts his arm around her, which Emily states in her book that she's very uncomfortable with strangers touching her body. Instead of just saying like, hey, I'm married, can you please take your hands off me? She gets really upset that her husband wasn't there to tell that guy to not touch her. So the random guy takes the photo, he leaves, and Emily just goes back to her husband and is super angry with him. She acts powerless in the situation, which to me reinforces this victim mentality. I think most people would understand that if you are a married woman and you do not want to be touched, even if you're a celebrity, that they wouldn't touch you. It's just a matter of respect and being able to communicate that to this random person that you are seeing. I mean this in the nicest way, but I think Emily really needs to work on communicating better and standing up for herself for things that she doesn't want to do. If she doesn't want to be touched, that's completely fine. Just be sure to communicate that to that person. Another really big issue that I have with Emily is that she is always shaming women. She always points out people who are in an age gap relationship, and she shades this Victoria's Secret angel, but she doesn't state the name in her book, but everyone knows who it is. Let me read you the passage and you can figure out for yourself. As I walked toward the exit, I passed a group of people dancing. I saw that J. Lo's face had grown red and sweaty. He was drunk. A tray of golden liqueur appeared in front of him, and he grabbed two, handing one to the Victoria's Secret model. She had ignored me and the other guest, her attention focused on J. Lo. Now she kept her eyes locked on him, as he took his shot, throwing her head back dramatically as he did, only to quickly toss the alcohol over her shoulder. When he faced her again, her eyes sparkled and the famous dimples appeared on her cheeks. Damn, I thought, what a maneuver. Laughing, she turned her back to him and bent her knees to grind her ass against his crotch. J-Lo's face lit up in delight. Everyone knows that famous dimple is Miranda Kerr. Later in the book, she states that the Victoria's Secret model married a tech billionaire, which we all know Miranda is married to the CEO and co-founder of Snapchat. This is my personal take on relationships. If you know that you are a high-value woman, Miranda Kerr is a Victoria's Secret angel, every girl's dream. She could probably considers herself a high-value woman, and she wants to marry a high-value man. I don't think it's bad that she wants to date a billionaire or marry someone rich. She has that status and she feels that she can do so. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing so. And it blows my mind too because Emily got famous for dancing naked in the Robin Thicke music video, Blurred Lines. And in many interviews, she said that, oh, it's not misogynistic, and I think it actually empowers women. I disagree with this logic. I think the music video was a little bit misogynistic. I don't think it was bad or terrible, but that's just my viewpoint of it. Did I enjoy watching it? Yeah, it was a pretty good music video. But Emily seems to do this thing where she makes an exception for herself, where she thinks it's empowerment because she's doing it and she feels good about it. And the issue I have is that when it comes to herself, she views it as empowering when in reality it's actually not. I think this book gives a great insight of her experience being a model, and I like how she goes a full circle with her ideas. But it kind of doesn't make me sad because I feel like she got into this industry way too young and is a little traumatized by everything that happened to her in her modeling life. She mentioned it in her book that if she could do it again, she wouldn't care for this fame or success or money that she got from it. You would expect with someone with her fame and success to be on top of the world and super happy, but she actually is very depressed and seems like it's not worth it to do all of that. She gives the sense that she is a flawed character and has made mistakes in her life. And I think that's really touching because most people would never admit that they made mistakes in their life. I would definitely recommend someone who is in the entertainment industry to read this book and just learn about her perspective and her success that she has gained from her modeling career. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and what you liked, what you didn't like, and I'll see you down below. Bye you guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.